to Riel and welcome to the Wednesday News Moto. You'll notice that today's footage looks a little different, and that's because it was filmed in the middle of the big wet that is drenching Siem Reap and much of Cambodia right now. It was filmed by Gary and Wendy of Heartprint just 2 days ago. They thought, and we agreed, that you might be interested in seeing what it's like when the rain really comes down. I guess if you're looking to live in Cambodia, this is something you'll have to deal with. For those of you who left Cambodia to live elsewhere, I guess this drenching will be a memory for you. Wherever you're watching from, thank you for being here, and please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really does help. The more people who watch, the more money we earn from YouTube, which we in turn donate to charities in Cambodia. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of August, and in this episode we'll crack open an ice-cold Cambodia to celebrate the introduction of a Demerit point system to deal with traffic violations. After that, we'll check out a bikini that's got some people hot under the collar. This week, we'll introduce a weather segment that has been requested a couple of times in the comments. It's also quite timely given the state of Siem Reap and the rest of Cambodia right now. I think it makes sense to start today's news with the weather. Siem Reap residents are desperate for ways to deal with floods during the rainy season. During the rainy season, Siem Reap always has minor flooding, but this year's heavy rainfall has caused a lot of floods, with some houses submerged by up to a metre of water. Many houses and businesses have been inundated, and it looks like more rain is still to come. The Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology says that it will rain almost everywhere across the country from the 15th to the 19th of August due to a low-pressure system. The system is heading into Cambodia from India and will also move across northern Thailand, Laos and Vietnam. So far, floods have affected at least 16 of Cambodia's provinces, inundating the homes of more than 2,700 families. The worst hit province was Ratnakiri, where 277 families had to be evacuated from their flooded homes to safety on higher ground. Here are the forecasts for the next 5 days. From north to south, Siem Reap is set for more rain and storms, with temperatures getting down to 24 degrees. The same situation in Phnom Penh, but it's a degree or two warmer in the capital. Kampot is dipping below 30 degrees maximum twice in the next 5 days, and steady rain is forecast there as well. To summarise, 5 days of rain and storms wherever you are. All that rain might have you reaching for some swimming gear, but be careful if it's a bikini covered in a print of the Cambodian flag. Cambodian social media commentators have reacted strongly against a website that appears to be selling bikinis patterned with the Cambodian flag. The bikini is up for sale on Etsy, and the listing shows a model in various provocative poses modelling the bikini, which positions Angkor Wat on the model's bottom. Outraged social media commentators have railed against the disrespectful item, demanding that it be removed from sale from the website and describing it as a grave insult to Cambodia. Luckily, they didn't see this undergarment listing on Amazon. We mentioned last week the talk of the Angkor Pass for expats who have lived and worked in the kingdom for 2 or more years. There hasn't been anything further on that particular proposal, but the Ministry of Tourism plans to introduce a convenient, single lifetime pass for foreign travellers to visit the Angkor Archaeological Park and potentially other areas. The move is designed to stimulate tourism to the culturally rich province of Siem Reap as the start of the Visit Cambodia Year 2023 campaign draws near. The Angkor Lifetime Pass and other proposals for special tourism packages and offers around Siem Reap were presented on the 8th of August at a subcommittee meeting. Few details are available, but the Ministry is considering the proposals with the tourism sector and relevant institutions and will submit the proposals deemed the most valuable to the government for review. The Lifetime Pass could potentially grant access to the entirety of the archaeological park. In other welcome tourism news, Bangkok Airways has resumed direct flight services between Bangkok and Siem Reap. AirAsia also currently flies from Bangkok to Siem Reap, but they fly from Don Mueang, which is the second airport in Bangkok. So if you're flying into Suvarnabhumi, the Bangkok Airways connection might be a better one for you. Let's move on to roads and drivers. Hold my beer. Starting on the 1st of September, Cambodia will implement demerit points on driving licenses on a trial basis for motorists who violate road traffic laws nationwide. The new rule will come into full effect on the 1st of January 2023. The program has been set up by the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Public Works and Transport in order to reduce road traffic accidents and ensure transparency in transitional penalties. So how many points will drivers have? Well, each licensee will be granted 12 points initially, and points will be deducted based on the category of offence for things like not wearing seatbelts, speeding, drunk driving, overloading, or traffic violations. Once the 12 points are exhausted, the police have the right to revoke the driver's licence. The driver will not be allowed to drive again until they take driving lessons and get a fresh licence. Now, it is tempting to be cynical about this for a number of reasons, but we're not going to go there. Change is needed, and there is an opportunity for this to reduce the road toll. We can, however, be as cynical as we like about the reports of ambulances working for private hospitals racing to the scenes of motor accidents. Here's how it goes. An accident is posted on Facebook or some other social media. Ambulances working for private hospitals race to the scene in the hopes that they will arrive first. Taking advantage of the confusion at the scene, the ambulance operators load up the injured or deceased and take them back to the hospital. Often these ambulances do not carry the logo of the hospital for which they're working. Family members are then faced with exorbitant hospital bills for their injured loved ones, or in the case of a fatality, an exorbitant bill is imposed before the body will be released back to the family for death rituals. Apparently, sometimes 2 or 3 ambulances will show up in an accident scene in the bid for patients. I'm coining the term right here on the News Moto today, scambulance. You never have to call a scambulance because they're already there. It seems appropriate to follow this up with a few Moto Madness stories. A drunk driver decided not to hang around and face the consequences when he smashed into 2 cars in Phnom Penh on Friday night. Sources said that before the incident, they saw 2 cars, a silver Toyota Prius and a silver Highlander driven by a Chinese man travelling along Road 2004 in a west to east direction at medium speed. Suddenly, a black Toyota Prius moving from east to west at high speed smashed into the Highlander. Nobody was injured and the guilty driver fled the scene. On Thursday night, there was a 7-car pileup in Phnom Penh's Choi Chang Va district. It is believed that the accident was caused by one of the cars braking suddenly, which caused the next 6 cars to successively slam into the back of the car in front. No one was injured and police arrived to mediate, but the drivers failed to reach an agreement. On Sunday night, a drunk Phnom Penh driver made an unplanned diversion onto the top of a road divider. According to sources at the scene, the man was seen driving a black Highlander at high speed in what was described as an erratic, or is that erotic manner, as he suddenly lost control of his vehicle and mounted the road divider. My apologies, dear listener. On Monday night, a drunk driver vividly illustrated the dangers of driving whilst intoxicated. Sources say that a man was seen travelling with 5 other people in a black Toyota Prius. Suddenly, a silver Toyota Prius, this sounds like the story before, smashed into him at high speed, causing severe damage. The guilty driver, believed to be in a state of intoxication, then fled the scene. After the incident, a representative of the drunk driver came to negotiate compensation. Alright, let's talk about Longan fruit. This is what it looks like, and it's very similar to a lychee or a rambutan. Very close relative, I think. Most Longan growers and consumers are in Southeast Asia, but China is the world's largest market for the fruit. A man from Pailin province has developed a new use for the fruits, Longan wine. He buys large amounts of the fruit that would otherwise go to waste as he strives to create a new homegrown brand of wine for the kingdom. He said there is up to 30% wastage due to fallen longan each season that was usually thrown away by plantation owners. He saw a business opportunity and has been fine-tuning his wine since 2008. What a great entrepreneurial spirit. And wouldn't it make a fantastic tourist attraction too? In our final story for the week, there is more good news for one talented lady. Bospa Pen is just 25 years old, but she's already accomplished some impressive milestones for herself and the kingdom. On the 24th of July, she graduated with a master's degree from the University of Cambridge as the first Khmer woman composer and Khmer music graduate ever at the school. Bospa wants to demonstrate to the world that Cambodia has multiple aspects to it that go beyond the typical narratives of war and misfortune. This is a wonderful story, and if you'd like to read it, or indeed any of the stories mentioned today, you can find them in the description of this video. That brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. There is a bit more footage of today's ride, and I thought I'd just let it play out for those of you who want to watch it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Heartprint friends, for providing the footage once again. Take care, have a great week, and we will see you very soon. Oh, and don't forget to watch the video on Sunday. It is part 3 of the walk in Phnom Penh, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, bye.